Testing. 1 2 3 1 2 3. I'm so late. What's going on here? Put this to the back. Ciao, honey. Yes, I'm behind. Let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Let me turn this up. Turn that up a little bit. I don't know why I'm behind when I technically prepared to do this early in the day, but it's the little things. So I wanted to open up the phone lines later on, probably after an hour into the show, the last 30 minutes of the show, and have people call in. And I forgot to set up the phone line. So I set it up 2 minutes before I'm supposed to start. So anyway, hi guys, happy Wednesday. I am early. I usually do the show at 9 o'clock, but I want to try something different. I wanted to start at 3, but I was not prepared. I realized if I want to start this show early afternoon or even the morning, I have to prepare the night before. And I do not. I had to go to the library and do some research. So I said, well, I still want to do it early than usual. So I will start it at 7 because I'm doing a premiere right after this at 9 just to see how it goes. So hopefully it goes well. Guys, please hit that like button. Please share this video on all of your social media outlets. Hello to everybody on X. Hi, guys. Is that Jason Whitlock in the thumbnail? Yes, honey, because we are going to talk about Carmelo Anthony, but from a different point of view. I am going to play a video just to bring everybody up to speed about the incident that happened. But I want to talk about people like Jason Whitlock and other races who are making this into a race thing because this has nothing to do with race. But the main attraction is Miss Thing, Jasmine Crockett. Yes, honey, we are going to keep riding Jasmine Crockett ass because she keeps opening her mouth. The more she opens up her mouth, the more we're going to talk about her and drag her, as we should. So yes, is that Jason Whitlock in the thumbnail? Yes, that's a bad picture of him. He looks terrible. He looks terrible in any picture. Period. He looks terrible in any picture. He's not attractive. He looks like he smells. I'm sorry. He sits up here and does a whole show about how Black culture is trash because of Carmelo Anthony from the track star, the high schooler from Texas. That has nothing to do with Black culture or any culture. If anything, it has to do with American teen culture. What is going on with the kids? Jumping over from... Thank you, Lou. And this is why I usually start at 8-7 because I know some of my viewers probably look at his stuff, then come over here. This is just a test because I may go back to 9 p.m. Ain't no I maybe. I'm just going to premiere the videos earlier and start at night. But this is just a test because either I'm going to start at 9 or start way early in the day. I don't really like starting at this time. This time is iffy. Thank you, Luz, with the sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, he does. He looks like he smells. Kelly? So all his pictures are bad. Yes, Anthony, he looks like he smells. You know, like somebody, there are people who are big, but they have good hygiene. He looked like he's big and doesn't have good hygiene. Like he's just a lazy washer. And there's some people who are just lazy washers, whether they're big or not. So listen, when you have a known racist, what's his name? Like Nick Fortes coming out, calling Jason Whitlock a token, like come on. So like, dude, come on. I want to change my background a little bit, either to that or maybe that. I think I want to keep it blue. So let's get into the show. So first up, I want to talk about Carmelo Anthony and the incident that took place a week ago from today in Fresco, Texas.
The 17-year-old accused of fatally stabbing a Texas student athlete during a track meet allegedly admitted to the crime. Now, he also asked officers if his actions could be considered self-defense. That is according to a newly released arrest report. On Wednesday morning, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, a junior at Memorial High School in Frisco, Texas, was killed at a track meet. Police said a student from Centennial High School in Frisco, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, stabbed Metcalf in the chest during a fight. Anthony was arrested, now charged with first-degree murder, and is being held in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond. Our Fox 4 Dallas team has been covering all of the information here. Alex Boyer has the latest.
In that 7-page arrest warrant affidavit, several witnesses, including Metcalf's twin brother, describe how that deadly encounter went down. It also revealed that the suspect reportedly admitted to a Frisco police officer that he stabbed Metcalf.
My son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed.
The pain is still raw for the Metcalf family after 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed on Wednesday morning at a UIL District 11-5 Frisco.
That dude was extremely smart, always in the box. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Here's what happened according to witnesses and the police report. Metcalf got into an argument with the suspect, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move from under the team's tent.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
Anthony opened his bag and reached inside and said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens." Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was just a tragedy what happened.
That's when Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest once before running away. When Anthony was taken into custody by a Frisco police officer, Anthony reportedly confessed to the crime, saying, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to," adding that, "I was protecting myself," and then asked the police officer, "Is he going to be okay?" Metcalf died in his brother's arms.
I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well.
This whole community has really wrapped their arms around us, and if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight, because you don't know when the last time you get.
Was not at the track meet and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, "Where at?" And he said, Kukendall Stadium. And I said, "I'm on my way." So I drove twins, and so I found Hunter and tried to get him under control as best we could. And I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that. And maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today. So I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything. God's taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye for the last time, I told him it's not goodbye, it's see you later.
All right. So I don't want to, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but so that was the parents talking. The whole situation is a tragedy. It is. And I don't understand why there are people on social media that are turning it into race. From the time this incident happened and it hit the news on X, automatically there were a lot of white people, there were a lot of non-white people turning it into race. And these are content creators with large followings, because independent content creators, we are the new media. So I can't blame the legacy media. But Jason Whitlock was one of those people to where he did a whole show, and I'm not playing no clips from his shit, but he called it Black culture is trash, basically. This has nothing to do with Black culture. And I want to throw the question why race doesn't matter in this situation. It is not about race. So I don't know why the Jason Whitlocks, people who created shirts saying white lives matter because of this incident. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with American culture, American teenage culture. Like, what is society turning into to where kids feel as though they need to bring a weapon, a gun, or a knife in school or at a track meet or anywhere on the premises and actually use it? There's no winners here. Somebody lost their life. See, when I heard about the story, I didn't say, oh, it's a black boy killing a white boy. That's good. But no, I said, what the hell? That's a tragedy. But it could quickly turn into something else because social media and people that feed into it allows it to fester into that. And so last night, I hold on every Tuesday, I help the judge facilitate his X space, right? I set it up and it's his X space. And I said, we're going to dedicate this X space to people that have all the legal questions about this particular situation, i.e. Carmelo Anthony's case, right? Because he's arrested and he has $1 million bond. So the judge sat up there and he answered all the questions. Some people didn't agree with him, but it doesn't matter because he's a legal expert and he's sticking to the facts. And he said, listen, we don't have all the evidence. I don't have all the evidence in front of me, but I'm asking questions on different scenarios on how this whole thing could play out, whether it's felony murder, whether it's going to be first degree murder, whether it's manslaughter, if it was self-defense, if it wasn't. He was breaking down every scenario because none of us know all of the facts. They didn't interview all of the witnesses there. It's supposed to be a video. They're going to release it to the public. That's not even released yet. The lawyer is working to lower the bond. And after that was a very good X space. Very good, right? 3 hours. But guess what happened after that X space? There were other people that started their own X space to talk shit about the judge. And these were black people, since we talking about race today, because I'm going to get into Jasmine Crockett ass in a sec. These were black people creating spaces talking shit about Judge Joe Brown. And it's like, you can't please niggas. You can't, first of all, you're not going to be able to please everybody. But you can't please niggas. A lot of them are still ungrateful. A lot of them are caught up in their emotions. A lot of them caught up in that victim mentality, emotional feelings. See, cases or justice is not solved or issued out by your emotions. So it was people in spaces saying, oh, he's washed up. That's why he's just disrespect. And he sat up there for 3 hours telling you about the law and different aspects of it and what could possibly multiple aspects that come out of this tragedy. And a tragedy it is. So you do have a lot of ignorant black people. And then you have other ignorant black people, just like a Jason Whitlock. And I'm going to play the Nick Fortes clip, just half the clip, because he's on some other mess, saying monkeys and all this stuff. And I don't get down with that type of conversation. But when you do have a known racist, such as a Nick Fortes, and the last name sounds Spanish. Yes, the police report is out. But the police report is not all of the evidence. The police report is just stating we accumulated evidence from witnesses or whatever. So the witnesses are not interviewed. All of the facts are not laid out. So the report is from the incident of that day. And they have over a dozen witnesses. So they have to actually interview all of the witnesses, put the pieces together, the prosecutors, the defense. The defense is focusing on lowering his bail. But we are talking about the race factor today with the Carmelo Anthony. Yesterday on Judge Joe Brown's space was the law. You could go to The Real Judge at The Real Judge Joe Brown 23 on YouTube to listen to that whole space. But today we're talking about the race factor. So this is a clip of Nick Fortes really calling out Jason Whitlock and others tokens.
And by the way, you are a token. Hey, Jason, you're a token. You are in conservative media as a black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid. And that's why I don't, because I didn't have the privilege of being born black. I was born white. So there's a limit on what I can say. There's a limit on what I can say without being penalized in the so-called free marketplace of ideas. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. And everybody's sick of it, especially in the conservative space, that blacks have had it easy. It is, and I don't doubt that he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's genuine. But you are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your ass would be fucking gone.
Okay. He's right. He's right. Even though, I think he's an idiot too. So you have idiots versus another idiot. And that is the problem with media today. There's no real journalism anymore because we all could just do a podcast independently and talk about basically whatever. But what I like to consider myself different from others, even from Jason Whitlock, I'm not going to create my platform as a circus. I don't want to create content badgering or looking down on anyone, particularly my own culture and race. Because what happened with Carmelo Anthony stabbing Austin McCav is not about race and it's not about trashy black culture. Because there are other teens that have done that are non-black. So if you want to say black culture is trash, then Jason Whitlock needs to say white culture is trash, Asian culture, Mexican culture, whatever. But this has nothing to do with race, but they're making it about race. Now, there was another clip of a friend, I guess, of the Carmelo Anthony's family. He held a press conference. Dominique Alexander with the Next Generation Action Network spoke to the media on Tuesday afternoon after meeting with Frisco police about a track meet stabbing investigation. He said police agreed to protect 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony family who have received death threats. So this black man sat up here and did a whole press conference, and I'm not playing this whole damn thing. It's 36 minutes of talking about all of the racist attacks that the family have received, right? Listen, this is America. This is America, because if it was a white guy who stabbed a black guy, that white family would have received death threats as well. That's what people do here in America. This country was built on racism and discrimination and prejudice and bigotry, colonialism, and that doesn't just change overnight. I don't care how many centuries go by. A lot of times, whatever your nation is built up on, that is how it's going to remain. So I want to play probably a couple of minutes. And the reason why I want to play him is because he's focusing on black people being victims and race.
Standpoint to get to the bottom of this situation. The Next Generation Action Network, since the past week, have gotten thousands of calls regarding this situation and making sure that our organization was involved in this situation because of the growing tension of racism and bigotry involving with the case. I want to start off by saying that I appreciate the Deputy Chief, John Stretch, from being able to come here to meet with us, as well as the Assistant Police Chief, Darren Stevens. These are two individuals who are currently over the investigation that is currently going on in Frisco ISD. Of course, let's start off in the proper way. I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as president and founder of the Next Generation Action Network, the largest human and civil rights organization in North Texas. Today, we had a meeting with leadership of the Frisco Police Department to discuss the matter of urgency in escalating racial threats and bigotry and online hate directed at the Anthony family. Let me be clear. The Anthony family cannot leave their home because of the growing threats towards their safety. Their personal address has been exposed. They have received graphic and racist threats. They are being targeted with violence and simply because their child is in the center of this tragedy. We are here just for this justice must be fair and impartial and protected from biases. We cannot allow racism and bigotry to divide us. We cannot allow white America to decide when and how Black people can speak up against oppression. We do not pull the race card, we live it. Yes, this case is a tragedy. Anytime a child is lost, we mourn as a community. Our heart goes out to the family of Austin Metcalf. But we do not erase the right of the Anthony family to be protected and heard and treated with dignity. That's why today we spoke with the Frisco Police Department leadership to demand answers. We need to know what steps are being taken to protect the Anthony family, the strategies of the threats that's being spreaded, and how Frisco Police is ensuring that Carmelo Anthony's Sixth Amendment right, a fair and public trial, is fully respected. Let's make it clear that absolutely we have the full permission and trust of the Anthony family and authorized for the Next Generation Action Network to speak today. Today in this meeting, we talked about and was able to give them graphic images of what this family has had to deal with for the last couple of days.
So I want to pause it right there. And again, this is Next Generation Action Network. To me, that rhymes with Al Sharpton's national network thing. Is it like an affiliate of it? However, why is he doing a press conference asking the public to stop harassing the Anthony family with racial threats and insults? Why is it not the police? Because that's the police job. And his family should not be receiving death threats. But see, everyone is making it about race. White people, Asians, Black people, everybody. So this is the police job to do a press conference. Why didn't you instruct the sheriff to do a press conference saying this is still under investigation? They should have said something, right, about the incident. And then on top of that says this is a tragedy for both, especially the McCaff, because they lost a son. But we cannot have the Anthony family receiving death threats. We take that seriously as well. Why wasn't the police doing this press conference? That is their job, not you. You're not even a lawyer. And you are already asking for a fair trial. Well, who said it wasn't going to be fair? Now, the Judge Joe Brown did agree that $1 million bail is way too high. That is ridiculous. So did the attorney get a hearing yet? A hearing to lower the bail? So there are a lot of things, important things outside of race that people want to know. So I wanted to play a clip of this, and this man is making it all about Black America history here in America in this situation. Don says, Dana, Dominique is a grifter. He's not a friend of the family. Dana, I don't know where you got that from. He's a grifter in Dallas. Well, the man said he was a friend of the family and he got permission to come out and do a press conference. He said he got permission from the family. Yes, he sounds like a grifter, but the family gave him permission to speak on their behalf about the death threats that they're getting. And my question is, why isn't an authority speaking into that? Because that is their job. That is their job. So what is the truth? What is happening to our youth here in America? That is the question that we all need to be discussing and having spaces on and talking about. What is happening to our kids? What are we as adults, parents, teachers, school principals, school superintendents, community, what are we not doing? What are we allowing? So Austin McCaff is no longer here. Life cut short. Carmelo Anthony, this is the beginning of the end of his future. Short term. Because if he gets 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, he's going to do time. Point blank, period. He is going to do time. And he's going to be trialed as an adult. How much time? We don't know. The official charge, we don't know. But my God, this man will be in a prison with grown ass men by the time he's 18. For how long? And then getting a track scholarship, going to college to major in whatever, because he was a good student, got a good grade point average. That's all out the window. His youth is gone. So are we really going to focus on race? How is that going to help Carmelo Anthony when he goes behind bars? Do you think those Black inmates give a shit that he's a Black kid? No. So everyone want to talk about race, white people, white lives matter, that bullshit. Black people, we had somebody in the space yesterday talking about something. Oh, he should have carved out his heart. Are you serious? So you going to have that same energy when he goes to prison? Are you going to continue Black people to put money on Carmelo Anthony's book 10 years from now when he's still in there? You're not. It always does this testing. You're right. Our kids don't fear anything because they have this entitlement. It's like an entitlement that you think they have, and you're not entitled to shit. Whatever the reason, listen, we don't know exactly why he pulled out that knife. We don't know. We don't know why he used it for sure. And even if it was self-defense, he is still going to do time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Y'all can have all the X spaces and marches and protests and yada, 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 yada. All the Jason Whitlocks with his bullshit. Knock it the fuck off. Because you're talking about two kids, teenagers that don't know shit about life. One life is gone. Parents, two families forever changed for the worse. A lot of times, and this is the point that I'm trying to make here is, hold on for a second. All right. Sorry about that, honey. I had to turn this damn fan on. Oh no. Give me a sec. And I'm not gonna be sitting up here burning up. Um, if you care about black people, if you care about black lives, how about we start preventing these tragedies and stop yelling racism, white supremacy, blah 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 when a tragedy happens? How about we start preventing these tragedies? How about we start reinvesting in the youth? How about all of Americans do that? How about that? How about we start changing the direction of this conversation and get to the facts and make sure, yes, that he gets a fair trial. But don't be delusional. He is going to go to prison unless something comes up that we don't know. Carmelo Anthony is going to go to prison. How long? We don't know. And that has nothing to do with white supremacy at all. This young man had both parents, a dad and a mom, in his life.
Carmelo Anthony must not. I just wanted to put this right here because I noticed that a lot of people who, racist people specifically, were saying that Carmelo Anthony must not have had his father in his life and his father must be a deadbeat, no good person to raise this thug, and that he must be living in the hood and not living good. So I wanted to share these family photos of Carmelo Anthony with his father, his mother, and his siblings, who actually have been together for over 17 years. His family has been together for over 17 years. Okay. One mom, all four kids, same dad, very middle upper class family. Interesting. Because I think a lot of racist people were saying that he didn't come from a loving family and that his father was probably in prison or a loser and had abandoned him when he was young because of the stereotypes that you guys hear about black people. The black father must not have been in the home. Well, it seems like his father loves him very much. And it seems like he was raised a good young man, whether you guys like it or not. But
So I'm not gonna play the whole thing. So again, I get it because you do have people out here. You do have people out here that non-black people, because it's not just white people seeing crazy stuff, that are throwing out all of the nasty stereotypes when it comes to black Americans, right? And a lot of those stereotypes are just not true because every group of people have the same issues that they're dealing with, but they just will always want to put a black face on it. I get it. So, yeah, you do have to debunk things, but again, going back to that press conference, that should have been the police department saying that. Those, they should not be receiving death threats. The police department should have been saying it, not a so-called family friend or whoever the hell he was. And he's talking for 30 minutes about what? About racism here in America and being a black man. Carmelo did not stab that boy because he was white or because he was a black guy and he had experienced oppression. Carmelo Anthony did not have to deal with racism. Damn sure not no black person in his generation and maybe a little bit of mine, but not even so much of mine. You don't have to deal with systemic racism. And she just said it. He came from a two-parent household, fathers in his life. He came from good parents. He probably is a good person. He's a good kid. Both of them good kids. I just think we're moving away from the real issue that we have an American culture that is doing a lot of harm to our youth. So, adults in the room, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Now, what makes it worse also is, let me stop this for a second. I thought I had that. It's another clip that I want to play here. And then we're going to get into the Jasmine Crockett. So when I say that, guys, Black people, Black America, no, you are not experiencing bigotry or systemic racism, because we have all of our rights. We have access to resources, right? It's really about class, the haves and the have-nots. If you have money, you can access a whole lot more resources. But when it comes to voting, when it comes to discrimination on a job and stuff like that, no, we don't have that anymore, especially with the voting. So why is it that people always harp on discrimination and racism when it's convenient for their bullshit ass narrative, i.e. their particular political group? So here's Sonny Austin with that same tired talking points about voter ID laws and claiming that Black people don't have cars or driver's license.
Don't have cars, don't have driver's licenses. So it's sort of a vestige of, I think, post-slavery laws where Black people had to prove their right to vote, and oftentimes they couldn't vote because they couldn't pass some crazy test or they didn't have the appropriate ID. It also affects women that are married. Maybe your passport reflects something that's different on your birth certificate or on your driver's license. So really the bottom line is voter suppression. And I agree with him 100%. It's a brilliant notion that less voter ID laws allows more people to vote. And most democracies do it that way. We're the only ones that really don't do it that way.
Right.
Well, you know why we don't do it that way? Because we have a history of cheating, of elections being stolen, a lot of cheating when it comes to elections. So she is saying we shouldn't have voter ID. Everyone should be able to vote. Are you stupid? And again, this is the Democrat narrative talking point of allowing illegals and non-citizens, to be able to vote in a republic that they are not a part of. And it only benefits Democrats to allow that, because those same non-citizens would then vote for a Democrat to expand their district to get more representation for their party. So in order to make the case, people like Sonny, who is a lawyer, who's not stupid, but she say dumb shit to get a check and to stay on TV, grifting, cooning. People like her and others, the Jasmine Crockett, which I'm about to get into, they always got to bring up Black suffering, the history of Black suffering, to make the case for illegals, to make a case for non-citizens, to make a case for LGBTQAI plus community. And that is the disrespect, because I want you to have a voter ID. Coming from East Orange, which is a heavy all Democrat city, I always had to present an ID when I went to vote. And they look at you crazy if you did not have the proper ID. Black people do drive. Black people do have state IDs. How do they cash their check? How do you get on a plane? So what is this notion that Black people don't have access to a damn state ID or driver's license? That's bullshit. New Jersey had a big scandal years ago where they were printing fake driver's license to give to non-citizens, which in turn, why they were probably the first state to create the new IDs. And now we're coming out with another updated new ID that we all have to get in order to get on a plane. So what is she talking about here? Nothing. This is a BS Democrat talking point. Again, using Black suffering to support LGBTQ communities and non-citizens. And how does this lead up to Jasmine Crockett? It leads up because that's all she talks about. Jasmine Crockett has not once mentioned Carmelo Anthony's name, and he is in Texas. She represents a district in Texas, I believe right outside of Dallas. I don't know how far Fresno, Texas is from Dallas or her district. She never even uttered his name. She never even uttered Austin McCaff's name. She doesn't utter anything about any Black issues, any racial systemic issues, nothing of the sort. She will admit, Jasmine Crockett, that she was a DEI hire. It's all about her. So recently, again, yes, the real IDs. Thank you. Yes, Sonny Austin is perpetrating victimhood. Yeah, and that's the problem. They do that to make the case for non-citizens. So recently, Jasmine Crockett came under fire again. And I know she says stupid shit just to keep her name and face in the headlines. Gotta be. And also, she is the Democrat new puppet. She is AIPAC's new puppet. She is the lobbyist for the LGBTQ AI and non-citizens and illegals PAC puppet. She is. So recently, she made some dumb comments about picking cotton.
Around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right, right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's.
She lost every bit of her damn mind. This bitch is crazy. So you mean to tell me that you want the illegals to pick cotton? Well, nobody's not picking any more cotton. When was the last time anybody picked cotton? And if it was, that was for their own personal business to make whatever. But there's no more sharecroppers. However, there are a lot of Black farmers. See, and so this is where I'm coming at with this, right? With this statement. She's saying Black people don't want to pick cotton. But you dumbass, Black people are Black farmers. There are a lot of Black farmers who are being discriminated against till this day. To this day. Have you not forgot about the Black farmers? They had a big lawsuit a few years back. And I think they won. They won a lawsuit. It was like $1 billion. And I had the article. I don't think I have time to pull it up. But they won a lawsuit, the Black Farmers Association. I'm just going to say Black Farmers Association. But of course, the white farmers was like, wait a minute, you can't just give it to them. You got to give it to all of our minority farmers, right? So they had to share the pot. I think it was $1.5 billion. So there are Black people, Black farmers picking the oranges, not cotton, you ignorant asshole. But there are Black farmers who businesses are going extinct. At one point in America, we had, I believe it was 1 million Black farmers, and now we're down to only 40,000. So there's still more white farmers. So if you want to make that argument and equate farmers, and this is why we need the illegals to pick the cotton, and I guess in 2025, that's supposed to be the oranges or whatever, why aren't you helping the Black farmers get more federal grants, federal loans, state loans, more money, more land? Why are you not helping the real farmers, the American citizens who are being discriminated against and left out of the agriculture industry? But you want the illegals to come and capitalize off of the agricultural industry.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right, right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now.
And that's what I'm saying. She's a whole lie. You are a liar. Did I just burp on camera? There are thousands upon thousands of Black farmers who are struggling. And this is what I'm saying. This woman cannot be trusted. We need to just stop listening to her. Stop putting her up there. And listen, I don't even think that's not even Black people putting her up on a platform. It's white people. It's these powerful white Zionists that are funding her war chest. It's certain tech giants, the tech companies in Silicon Valley. There's the Black church, and of course the bullshit as sororities and fraternities. But she does not speak for Black America, and that is a small, tiny portion of Black Americans. But these are people who have the financial backings, and they put idiots like this up there. You are literally saying, let illegals come in here because they're the ones working the farms, and you cannot, and you never did, not once talk about Black farmers who are struggling, who are going bankrupt. White farmers have it bad. So if the white farmers have it bad, the damn Black farmers have it worse. But you literally saying that Black people don't want to farm?
Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
Yeah, and I don't know. This is some Grace Baptist Church in Waterbury, Connecticut. Their 125th anniversary where she was speaking at. 125 years. So let's go back 125 years. You're talking about in the 1800s or 1900? 1900. In the midst, deep Jim Crow era, where majority of Black Americans at that time were sharecroppers, farmers. They were in the agricultural business, getting ripped off. That has not changed in 2025. But you're caping for illegals saying that y'all don't want to work in the fields picking cotton, but they do.
You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
Racist rhetoric. That's exactly what it is. Racist rhetoric. Let me write that down so I won't forget. Racist rhetoric. You could find a lot of farmers that is willing to pick cotton today if they know they could make a living from it. But no one's not picking cottons. They're picking everything else but the cottons. And the Black farmers are having a hard time. So I have another clip of her. Now she wants to convince the Black church to accept LGBTQ AI agenda.
I know how we are, okay? And you ain't got to admit it, okay? Because I know. So you don't have to admit it. But literally, and even if we take it out of church, when we talk about Black culture, I'm going to be real with you and tell you that Black culture has never really been one that has embraced the LGBTQIA community. This is just a reality. I know how we are, okay? And you ain't got to admit it, okay? Because I know. So you don't have to admit it. But literally, and even if we take it out of church, when we talk about Black culture, I'm going to be real with you and tell you that Black culture has never really been one that has embraced the LGBTQIA community.
That's a lie. That is a lie. Now, you may have had people in your family that, especially, you know, the patriarch of the Black family or any patriarch of any family, they may have a problem if they see their son wearing lipstick or wearing a dress, or if they found out that they're gay. But at the same time, Black people didn't throw away their own. So that's not true. Black people never had a hard time accepting someone that was gay. If you're transgender, that may be a little bit different. There are a lot of people in that community that will say, yes, my parents threw me out the house when they found out I was gay. I'm not denying that. But as a community, you found somebody else that was willing to take you in. And we look at the Black church, that's all that fills majority. I think the gay community is what's keeping the Black church afloat nowadays. So to say that we have a problem, you don't know nothing about Black culture. She is a preacher's kid. Her father was a successful businessman. She didn't want for anything. She lived and grew up around Black people, not Black people, affluent white people. And if it was Black people, they were the upper echelon of Black people. The upper class Black boule. She went to private schools, PWIs. She doesn't know Black culture. So to say that Black community has a problem with gayness, that is not true, because the mothers and the grandmothers and the aunties, they looked out for anyone in their family that was gay, whether their husband agreed with it or not. And that's why a lot of Black women get a lot of flack, because they said, oh, we allow it or we embrace it. No, we just not going to throw someone away because they choose who they love. So that is a myth that she keeps spewing out of her mouth as if she knows so much about the Black community. We are all at one point, we all sit up here and have said something nasty, something discriminatory about another group, whether it's colorism, whether it's someone's sexuality or somebody's race or someone's religion. We've all done that as human beings. But speaking about Black culture, the Black community, and even some Black households, in general, we don't throw anybody away. For anything, we're going to try to protect people. And sometimes I think that's part of our downfall, not throwing some people away. And I'm not saying throw away someone who identifies as LGBTQ or whatever. But there are people in the culture that needs to be thrown away. Jason Whitlock is one of them. The Pookies is another one. We do need to reinvest in our youth and our kids. We need to take accountability for our own. And that's lacking. It really is. Now, I did put together other videos of Jasmine Crockett going hard for trannies, the transgender community, illegal immigrants, so let's just go down memory lane a little bit here. Let's see, what's this?
According to them, the trans kids that want to play the sports, Lord have mercy, that is the biggest issue that we had. Since when? Since when? Find the little trans child that is ruining your life. Like, I mean, I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? According to them, the trans.
So, no, transgender should not be in girl sports. It should not. That is a big thing. That is a big thing. But every chance this woman gets, she is speaking up for them.
Count towards the limit to debate. Then from there on, if there's further requests for debate, there'll be 7.5 minutes each time. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett for her remaining 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The final points that I was going to make is while this amendment has to do with civil rights, for whatever reason, the colleague on the other side of the aisle decided to attack Democrats and pretend as if we do not look out for women. And I want to be clear that it's Democrats that were pushing for the Equal Rights Amendment, and I don't recall any Republicans supporting us having the Equal Rights Amendment. I also want to make it clear that just because someone fantasizes or wants to be dramatic about the idea of someone could be a quote unquote man in a locker room or in a bathroom, I've yet to hear an actual testimony of someone who, for whatever reason, has experienced this in real time. But I can tell you some real numbers and some real facts, because I don't like to live in fantasy when I'm talking about how I'm going to govern for the American people. The facts are, in my state alone, in the state of Texas, once they decided that they were going to overturn the Roe decision, 26,000 women then ended up raped. 26,000 is what we had reported. And that was only within about a year's time span. And when they reported those rapes, none of them seemed to have anything to do with trans folk. And I don't recall any legislation to help out those women in Texas and beyond that are actually dying. We're not projecting may die, but are actually dying or have died in southern states that have decided that they wanted to go after our reproductive freedom. So as a woman in this country, as a Texan, and as a Black woman, who, when we look at the numbers, and I believe in data and science, and I know that that escapes a lot of people in this chamber, but the numbers are clear that specifically Black women have always struggled when it came down to the maternal mortality rates in general. The fact that somebody who looks like me, no matter how much money they have, because I can remind you of a very wealthy tennis star that almost lost her life while trying to give birth. Some things I honestly just don't think should be partisan. And frankly, I do believe in privacy, because honestly, I don't want none of y'all making decisions if I ever end up pregnant and have to decide what it takes for me to save my life. And I give the same opportunity for other women in this country to make decisions as they see fit. So while we look at how we protect women completely differently, I can tell you that at least in the 766,000 women or 766,000 constituents that I represent, I have had them come to me concerned about whether or not they could survive childbirth. But I have not had a single person in my district tell me that they were concerned that they may be raped by a trans person. So if there is an issue to solve in this country based on facts, data, and statistics, I think that we need to look at the type of health care that we are going to advance for women in this country. And with that, I will yield.
Okay, so if that's the case, right, why are you always talking about transgender people? If the women in your district are concerned about maternal health, as they should, and that is a real issue, number one, where is your public policies to advocate to put on the House floor, because you want several committees to help push maternal health care for Black women and all women, right? And if no one in your district has come to complain about transgender, why do you always talk about it? Why is it that when you were invited at the humanitarian awards and you received the award, you got up there and you spoke for 20 minutes about how trans people need to be protected, they need the same rights, yada, yada, yada. You always make an issue about transgender, not even about gay men or lesbians or none of that, always about transgender. So if people in your district are not complaining, why are you? And where is your policies to put to the House floor to help women with their maternal crisis? You don't have any. And this is why we know Jasmine Crockett is full of shit. Now, I pinned the number to call in. I want to test it in the chat. So if you guys want to call in, yes, it's the call-in number, it's the meeting ID, and it's a passcode, but I got to figure it out ahead of time if I remind myself to figure out just one number for you guys to call instead of all that. So I really wanted to try the phone lines. I usually have PRA come on, but I said, listen, I just want to talk tonight, and I want to open up the phone lines to have people call in and see how that goes. And I'm starting early, so it is what it is. So call into the show. I have more clips of her. Yes.
Y'all need to find some people that actually care about their constituents. And honestly, whenever y'all are ready to work, we on this side of the aisle have always been ready to do what is right by the American people. Instead, what you can continue to do is go after the most vulnerable in our country. The fact that you just sat up there and somehow figured out how to tie trans folk to your argument makes no sense to me. But let me tell you something. Trans people ain't going nowhere. Just like when the racists wanted to make sure that black people somehow were going to be dismissed in this country. We ain't left either. And I'll yield.
Would you yield back?
I'll yield too.
So again, she's tying trans with black.
Very dearly. Who has struggled and suffered because of the ignorance that continues to be perpetuated, which is not what is in the will of the people. Young Libby, who has been my constituent for far too long and gone through too much in the state of Texas. At the age of 7, Libby started testifying down at the state house about the bathroom bill. I think that was a Heritage Foundation situation as well. Started testifying at the age of 7 about how it made her feel. Then ultimately, Libby has been testifying, and at this point, Libby is 13 years old. And I'm gonna tell you something. I know that it was characterized as, oh, this is the cool thing to do, and maybe people are encouraged to be trans, and so they don't wanna speak out. And now that it is not the easy thing to do. When you have to sit here and prove your personhood every single time that you're walking around. You got people that feel away because they losing in the sport. And listen, the trans person, it don't sound like even came in first from what I could tell. But nevertheless, I think we need to focus on real things that are real issues as it relates to women. If you care about women, let's get the ERA passed so we can have equal rights. Let's make sure that we fully fund access to reproductive health. But let me, and to be clear,
I don't really like this one. Let me see if I found another one. Oh, here we go.
The country illegally. It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations. And so that's why I wanted to point out, don't give me this fake outrage about criminals roaming our streets when you guys stand 10 toes down for the biggest criminal that we have ever seen go into the White House.
So listen, the reason why I'm playing these clips, because these are all of these are like viral clips of Jasmine Crockett going viral, right? But she's going viral talking about caping for and defending illegal migrants and transgender, and that's it. Hell, she don't even talk about gay people, lesbians. She talk about transgender and illegals. That is her, and she was wrong about this, saying illegals entry into the U.S. is a crime, because it is. So and I have all these clips here. Every single clip is about illegals. It is about non-citizens And it is about transgender people, not about black, not about how can Americans make more money, lower taxes, better health care. Oh, unless she's talking about Elon Musk or Trump, because she blamed Elon Musk for Trump for all of this. It's none of that. Guys, I pinned the calling number. This is why ain't why I started early, but I said I wanted to try the damn calls during a live show. And I did a test last week. Thank you, Papa. It says watching from Bermuda. Later, Ashanti Sana family, know thyself and your creator, the most high, with your giving thanks. Thank you so much. I just say thank you. I have another super chat that I wanted to read. Dana, did you see Chicago Red Reform Group in front of Congress? Yes, I did. And that was cool. But I look at it, what is going to be the end result? See, don't be another Jasmine Crockett and you just get a microphone and a camera in front of your face and you talk, but you don't show results. Don't let these politicians use you. Don't let these, lobbyist groups that have a whole lot of money buy you and you have no results. Like her. No results. And that's what I'm going to say on that. I like to see receipts of progress. See, I'm not a politician, but guess what? Quick story. I walk out my house to walk my dog. No, I was going to the library today. And I drive out my driveway and it's a corner right there with a stop sign. Garbage right there on the corner. Garbage. Like someone rolled down their window and threw out fast food bags of food on the garbage. Like they ate and just threw it all out. And I'm like, this is some trifling shit. And they probably don't live around here. They probably come from the hood and you could be white or black. But how dare you come here and just throw stuff on the ground? And one thing I cannot stand is a litter bug. If you I would break up with someone if I see them litter. That is beyond a pet peeve for me. Right? So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to City Hall, to my city councilman in my district, and I'm going to advocate for a camera to be positioned on top of that stop sign or somewhere right there on that corner. And then I want them to invest money. Anybody that is caught on camera littering, whether you're walking or driving, you get a ticket. That's what I'm going to advocate for. So when I see people sit in front of Congress, whether you're a part of an organization or not, I look at it, show me the progress. Show me your agenda that you're pushing. Not somebody else's, yours. Show me the receipts. Show me the progress. Show me something other than you running off with the mouth. Because we already got one Jasmine Crockett. We don't need a whole bunch of others. We don't. Thank you, Kelly Silverman. She says, I've been taking a break from politics and social media. Wanted to know, what are your thoughts on this Carmelo story? I don't know enough about it. Kelly, I spoke about it in the beginning of the show, so just go back to the beginning. Also, guys, go to at the Real Judge Joe Brown on YouTube, Real Judge Joe Brown 23 on YouTube. He held a 3-hour space answering all legal questions, all different legal scenarios of possibilities that may come out of this. So listen to that. And I did talk about Carmelo Anthony at the beginning, but I was just talking about the race factor of it. People are putting race into this, and it's way more serious and deeper than race. I'm sorry. He did not do what he did because that boy was white. We're talking about teen tragedy here, a teen tragedy. And this is not the first, this is not the last. How many other stabbings and shootings have taken place just this year alone in high schools. Let's pull up that data. And you know what? I'm going to do that for the next show. I'm going to pull up the data of all the high school incidents that took place just this year in 2025 or this school year. Are you still want to say it's a race thing? A lot of times we as adults can act like the biggest kids in the room. And you wonder why kids do stupid shit because they have stupid adults that they look up to. And thank you, Cynthia, for the Cash App. Thank you so much. Where's the Malcolm X and Martin Luther King of our times? It should be you, Big Daddy Vic. You should be the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X of today. You, not someone else. Stop having people speak for you. Send Mello to prison. Okay, he is going to go to prison, Joseph. That's still not going to solve the problem. That's still not going to bring Austin back. You know what the problem is? The problem is a culture of youth violence, of all backgrounds, of all socioeconomic backgrounds, of all races, all cultures, all religion. So again, okay, he go to prison, then what? And then the next kid does that, then what? It's just a cycle that is going to keep going over and over again, and it has nothing to do with Black culture. I guess nobody don't want to call in, honey. Did anybody try to call in? Let me put the thing back in the because I am at 8:30. I'm gonna shut it down at 8:30 anyway. But I wanted to see, and I think you guys don't call in because there's too many numbers, and I get it. I pinned the numbers in the chat. I got to work on just getting one number of people just call in, and I could put the number across the screen. Maybe I should have did that. I'm kind of unprepared to take phone calls. I kind of put it together at the last minute. Was it something else? No, that was it. So yeah, that was it with Jasmine Crockett. She focused on the illegals. They don't pay taxes. That was debunked. She focused on transgender people. It's like, come on, for what? That's not. You just admitted that you don't even have transgender people except for one Libby in your district. And this is what I'm also going to do, guys. Please hit the like button. Please share this video. Fridays, I'm going to have another panel. So I'm going to go live on Fridays. And Fridays, I'm going to dedicate that when I go live to panels. Friday night will be panel night. Yes. And I want to say thank you to the people that Austin, Men's, Casuelo, we did a panel talking about South Africa, the white South Africans. And I dropped that on Sunday. So yeah, so this Friday, I invited George, Macon, I invited P. Ray, Men's, and let's see if Austin available, and maybe Consuelo. But yeah, so we're gonna have a good discussion this Friday. I don't know exactly what is gonna be trending topics, multiple things. So yeah. Oh, honey, I'm getting hot. And I want to let you guys know I am going to be starting a brand new YouTube channel just on health and wellness under the umbrella of menopause. Yes, because I'm in Perry and I'm about to enter menopause. But it needs to be talked about. So I am going to be starting that up by the end of this month. And I'm going to be promoting it to have you guys subscribe. Yes, yes, yes. I tried calling. It says unavailable. Okay, so maybe I got some of the numbers wrong. Let me check the numbers again. Bear with me. Let me make sure. Let's see. Eight 9923 854 9056 344 231 467. I don't know. Let me try it. This is what I'm saying. I just need one number. No.
Welcome to meeting ID followed by pound. You entered 85490563444. This meeting ID does not exist.
Oh, I done wrote down a wrong damn meeting ID. Give me a sec. Give me a second here. Meeting. Okay. 854-905-344. What are you talking about? It's not working. Eight 854-9056-3444. 231-469. And what is the phone number? What I get? 698-776-9923. I don't know. I wrote down all the numbers. What? I don't know. Well, damn it. No, you own nothing. You're a land. Yes, landowner. Yes. Oh my God. I must have did something wrong here. Let me try another number. 205-3325.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound. Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just please enter the meeting password followed by pound.
I did.
You are in the meeting now. There is one other participant in the meeting.
I don't see it.
You are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing *6. You have been added to the waiting room.
Okay. So you guys could use this number here. Let me unpin this. Honey, I'm not ending this till I get this right, honey. We going to try it. 3325. All right, call in. And let me put meeting ID. What's the meeting ID? Copy. Paste. And passcode. Let's see. Copy. Paste. All right. Try that one. I'm pinned it and I dropped it in there. Guys, hit the like button. I promise next time I'm just going to have one phone number. Y'all can just call straight through. And I don't hear anything here. All right, somebody call in. Somebody call in. As a human, do you own or do you not? You're landowners, yes. Yes, honey, you could pay my bills. Yes, you can. And that's all you could do. I'm gonna have to go to my what is this? I'm gonna have to go to my other device to cash up you, Miss Dana. Oh, thank you, John. Ask the judge. Ask the judge, do you own land as a human? No, you own nothing. No, you are a land holder. And we actually did a show on Injustice for All, one of his episodes. I think that was episode 7, where he broke that down. You are a land holder, not owner. Can somebody call in? I got like 5 minutes left. Yes, honey. The best way to listen to her is muted. Do you include? No, but it tells you the pound sign. Thank you, Mark. Okay, Julius said he's calling in now. All right, let me know, Julius, if you get through. I'm looking at the thing here. Oh my God. Shout out to everybody listening on X. Hi, guys. Yeah, but the only thing I'm saying is, honey, going forward, catch the premiere that I'm having tonight too, that I'm premiering after this. Catch the premiere is the judge talking about Israel. Tomorrow he's going to China. Ooh, that's all goes on. Yeah. I don't see. Are you calling in? Get it. You own nothing, Kitty. Jasmine focuses on everything cultural. Yes. Cultural Marxism. Yes. Let me write that down. Cultural Marx. That's exactly what it is. Yes. Leave that comment up there. Julius, if you calling in, honey, I don't see you yet. I'm gonna have to figure. IT said that the meeting ID doesn't exist. It should exist. I just tried it. It exists. I just tried the damn thing. I don't know. Let me call. I just called. Y'all gonna stop playing with me.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound. Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound to.
Oh, or you could just press pound. Yeah.
Please enter the meeting password followed by pound. You are in the meeting now.
How can I get in and you can't?
Other participants in the meeting. You are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing *6.
So why is it I can get in and you can't?
You cannot talk or listen until the host admits you to the meeting.
I can get in, but you can't. Thank you, John, for the Cash App. Thank you. I found it, Miss Dana. Enjoy. Yes. Thank you, John. I see it. All right, guys. You know what? It's been a good show. I'm going to figure out these phone lines. I'm going to figure out these damn phone lines for next Wednesday. And I'm going to do a couple of tests this week. But tune in tomorrow for another episode of Injustice for All if he has time to record. I don't know. But definitely tune in Friday to Dana with the Data panel. We having a panel battle, the panel night. Yeah, so that's Friday. You will catch me live again with the panel. Everybody have a wonderful week. Stay focused, stay blessed, stay safe. And let's reinvest in our youth. That's tonight's message. Let's reinvest in the youth, all backgrounds, all religion, all cultures. But especially where you live at in your community, reinvest in the youth, whether it's your children, your grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or neighborhood kids. Who is? Oh, I see somebody. Hello? I don't hear. I don't know if it's probably not even connected. I don't know. All right. I don't know. I'm just going to end it. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did with these phone lines. I don't know. I honestly, I don't like Zoom. I don't like it. I don't like Zoom. I just shut down the phone lines. It was whoever called in. Okay, you got in. If they're a phone provider, why they can't call in? I don't know, chaos. But anyway, all right, guys. All my black people stay black. Yeah, I just hung up. I'm shutting down the phone lines. But everybody just reinvest in the youth because they need our help. I hung up, Julius. I just hung it up because I couldn't hear anything. So it's something that I need to do on my end. I don't know. Thank you, everybody. And check out the video premiering in about 30 minutes. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.